we got a rare and exclusive tour outside and in.
So this is the flying Oval Office. If you look on the floor, whenever you see stars on the carpet on Air Force One, that is the president's personal space.
The Situation Room in the sky.
From all corners of the planet, the President of the United States official state aircraft, which is also his office in the sky, has got lots of admiration from being one of the most impressive kits ever seen in human history. However, what actually goes down inside that world-famous air machine is a skeleton in the cupboard. But today, we're taking to the skies and finding out what makes Air Force One a world beater. Stay tuned, because you don't want to miss this. Not only is Air Force One tricked out with all the latest defensive gizmos, but it also performs as a flying embassy, pampering eminent guests and projecting the confidence and authority of the United States of America around the world. You might never believe it, but for sure, Air Force One is not only a carrier jet, it's also a tactical fighter jet that carries machine guns just like any other warplane found in a military base. Now, before we move further, it's good we set some records straight. Air Force One is a radio call sign adopted by any Air Force plane while the sitting U.S. president is aboard. In common parlance, however, the name is used to identify specific aircraft reserved for use by the president for travel within the United States or anywhere in the world. Today, the name refers to one of two highly customized Boeing 747-200B series aircraft that carry the tail codes 28,000 and 29,000 respectively. It's obvious why there are two in case of an emergency, and the one on the ground must be active until the one on the sky lands. The Air Force designation for the aircraft is VC-25A. They've served presidents, vice presidents, at which time they're known as Air Force Two, and other dignitaries under the administrations of George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, and now Joe Biden. Air Force One is one of the most recognizable symbols of the presidency, spawning countless references not just in American culture, but across the world, emblazoned with the words United States of America, the American flag, and the seal of the President of the United States. It's an undeniable presence wherever it flies. Americans especially love that, and other nations, of course, envy it. Historically, the first U.S. president to fly while in office was Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who in January of 1943 flew aboard a commercial Boeing 314 Clipper flying boat to the Casablanca Conference in Morocco during World War II. Right from President Roosevelt to Joe Biden, Boeing airplanes have transported U.S. presidents around the world. The mother company, Boeing Commercial Airplanes, headquartered in Chicago, was entrusted with the production of the presidential aircraft after the production of its first mouth-watering machine in 1962. The plane particularly became an icon of long-haul travel and exotic holidays. It could fly more people further than any other plane before. In 1962, the 35th President of the United States, John F. Kennedy, became the first president to fly in a jet specifically built for presidential use, a modified Boeing 707. And after John Kennedy was assassinated in November 22nd of 1963 at 12:30 p.m. in Dallas while riding in a motorcade, his body was put in a bronze casket and was returned to Dallas Love Field using Air Force One. Over the years, several other jet aircraft have been used, with the first of the current aircraft being delivered in 1990 during the administration of President George H.W. Bush. So, as now, there are actually two Air Force Ones, both of which are souped up, tricked out military versions of the familiar Boeing 747, and they're not exactly cheap planes to acquire. In 2016, the U.S. Air Force announced it'll continue the Boeing tradition with the 747-8, which will replace the two aging 747-200s that currently serve as the Presidential Air Force One fleet. A lot has been said about the newer and more sophisticated 747-8Ss dubbed VC-25B, which are set to be in operation as early as 2024, according to reports that were released by Trump's administration. When the 747-8 takes flight as the next Air Force One, Boeing airplanes will mark more than a half a century of presidential service through the jet age. The 747-8 is just similar to the 747-400, except for some improvements, like it's been modified to feature higher gross weight, a longer fuselage, a new higher aspect ratio wing, and new higher bypass radio engines. The 747-8 also incorporates advanced alloys, updated systems, and improved aerodynamic efficiency for a better cruise, takeoff, and landing performance. Capable of refueling mid-air, the Air Force One has unlimited range and can carry the president wherever he or she needs to travel. The onboard electronics are hardened to protect against an electromagnetic pulse, and Air Force One is equipped with advanced secure communications equipment, allowing the aircraft to function as a mobile command center in the event of an attack on the United States. Inside, the crew, that is the president and his or her travel companions, enjoy 4,000 square feet of floor space on 3 levels, including an extensive suite for the president that features a large office, laboratory, and conference room. And if that isn't enough, Air Force One even includes a medical suite that can function as an operating room, and a special medical practitioner is permanently on board. The plane features 2 food preparation galleys that can feed up to 100 people at a time. And still, Air Force One has quarters for those who accompany the president, including senior advisors, Secret Service officers, traveling press, and other guests. Additional modifications will include the integration of a military GPS into the VC-25B's flight management system and identification of friend or foe capabilities, according to previously released information. The aircraft also is likely to include missile warning systems and defensive technologies, such as a chaff dispensing system and directional infrared countermeasures. Boeing was also asked to replace the existing auxiliary power unit, the APU, usually a Pratt & Whitney PW901AC on the commercial airliner, and with 2 APUs from unnamed sources. According to revelations by the book Air Force One, a second APU was installed on previous presidential aircraft to ensure they were self-sufficient on the ground. Several cargo planes typically fly ahead of Air Force One to provide the president with vehicles and services needed to remote locations. Air Force One is maintained and operated by the Presidential Airlift Group, part of the White House Military Office. The Airlift Group was founded in 1944 as the Presidential Pilot Office at the direction of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The new jets are scheduled to enter service in 2024, and Biden will be the first commander-in-chief to fly aboard the new Air Force One. Trump may never step foot on it, despite all his input and efforts to keep costs down on the project, unless invited by Biden or a future president. If Biden decides to run again in 2024 and is successful, he'll have a full 4 years to spend with the plane rather than a few months at the end of his term. But if he retires in 2025, his successor will have plenty of time to enjoy the new aircraft.
If you notice, there are seatbelts here, but seatbelts with the presidential seal.
Yes, sir. You'd like to see the business end of Air Force One?
Yeah.
It's high-tech, but old. This plane has been flying presidents for 25 years.
We're already rolling down the runway. I think it's time to get in our seats.
While in the air, time for a brief call.
ABC.
Hi, sir. This is the operator on Air Force One.
Colonel Dave Banholzer is the chief presidential pilot.
So have you ever seen the movie Air Force One?
I have.
Totally realistic, right?
Absolutely.
Get off my plane.
The planes are set to be in service for more than 3 decades. And we hope you enjoyed our video. Just be sure to subscribe to our channel for more of our amazing content. And please give us a like, share the video, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell for timely updates of our new uploads. We value your feedback, and feel free to share your thoughts with us in the comment section down below.